People that in that house are doing. So, I just wanted to talk about why is there only 50 people allowed in the church at once? And in certain effects around Ireland, the present few months, there was more than 50, let's be honest. There was more than 50. There was way, way more in some areas of Dublin protests. And I'm not being racist or anything like that, but for a funeral, like things like that, I've heard stories um, of families heartbroken that they can't grieve properly, that they can't go into a church. Some of them have to even wait outside because they're not allowed to go in. There's only 10 people allowed in the church max for a long, long time. Now it's changed a bit. It's a bit more lenient, a small bit. But it's still not right. And for bigger churches like Calvertown, the biggest issue here for me is that, you could fit way more in. If you limit, like, I'm sure the government could be a bit generous and just say you're 1 meter rule or something like that instead of 2 meters. Because in some churches like Calvertown Cathedral, you could fit in way more than 50. It's just a waste of energy and everything like that to put in 50 people in the church. Like, you could fit a few more in. Let's be honest, you can. Obviously you have to wash your hands when you go in and everything like that. I don't know about face masks. I don't think they do really any good anyway. As far as I know, I don't think they really do much good. Like inside, it's probably when you're outside, if you're in a public area, a big crowded area. But obviously, if there's only 50 people, there's not really much need. And you have to book it. Like, that's the biggest stupid thing I ever heard in my life, booking to go to mass. And I understand, like, I've been in many churches during my time of funerals and different things like that. And sometimes you can't even get a seat in the chapel because there's that full up with during funerals and during only mass. And obviously obviously that should have been something done about it a long time ago. Obviously that bit, because there was a few churches I went to and you couldn't get sitting down, you couldn't even see the altar, you couldn't go up for Holy Communion because there's that many people. And obviously that needed to change, but this is too big of a change, if that makes any sense. Shouldn't have been allowed, like. I just don't know I'm honestly just thinking to myself here, what do we become if we can't let people go to mass to grieve? Like, some people have lost loved ones and they can't grieve properly. They can't grieve. At least going to mass and you're saying a prayer for them in the chapel, it gives them something. It gives them something. It gives them a small bit of hope. But like, you can't have another funeral, and that's something that somebody told me. You can't have another funeral. You can have another wedding, you can have another christening, but you can't have another funeral. You just can't. Like, as soon as they're in the ground, you can't. You just can't. And that's the most heartbreaking thing. And one person in particular, and it's heartbreaking to even talk about, that they lost their mother. And they only were allowed 10 people in the chapel, and the sister and the brothers have to wait outside because there's no more room for any more of them, so they just left them outside. And they didn't want to be left outside, but it was the rules. And you know what they had to do? When they went to the graveyard, they couldn't go near the graveyard. They couldn't go up to the grave to say their final goodbyes and to obviously say goodbye at the graveside. They had to wait in the car and they had to watch them put the mother into the grave. 2 people along with the priest blessing the grave. They couldn't let any more. They wouldn't let any more. And they couldn't go up because the graveyard, that graveyard in particular, they closed it for a while. So that was obviously very, very tough. When, as they said, you can't have another funeral. You just can't. There's no way you can have another funeral. And not having that proper grief in session, it's obviously even more painful. So I'm just saying to the government, can you be a bit generous? Like, I'm sure to God it's not going to spread a huge outbreak and everything like that. Can you be a bit generous and just limit it down to 1 meter? Be a bit generous. Just come on, Leo, be a bit generous. I'm sure to God you can be a bit generous. For the sake of just people who wanting to grieve and people just want some kind of hope and some kind of place to pray and to have a bit of silent remembrance and just a bit of a prayer. I don't think Leo will care, but if he has any kind of a heart, he would do it. But hopefully it can be increased. Like, there is small choppers obviously, that you really just couldn't nearly fit 50 people in for 2 meters. But I'm just talking about the big cathedrals like Cavan Cathedral. Like, you could fit way more than 50 people and count social distancing and everything like that. But thank you for watching. Subscribe more and take care everybody, and bye.